Hey there, everybody in Facebook land. This is Tirza Ekholm of the Tirza Factor, and I'm coming to you live today from my studio. And I know we don't always, or at least it's not recommended necessarily that we do a Facebook Live doing a handheld via a phone. However, it's really hard for me to give you a tour of my studio and kind of show you what's going on without doing that. So hang on tight, don't get seasick, and just kind of follow along with me. So my husband and I have spent a lot of months, couple of weeks actually, several months helping me get my studio organized. And it's been wonderful and great. And I've been working on a commissioned art piece. And to do that, I have made lots of mess and lots of fun, but there's a little bit of organization too. So come with me a little bit and I'll show you what's going on. So let me just turn the camera around here. Hang on with me a second. So this here, kind of hanging off to the side here, this is a piece that I posted a few weeks ago. And as a result, I was contacted by a local bank here who wanted to have something like it for their lobby, only they wanted something much bigger. Well, that does turn out to be an interesting challenge because most of the components on that piece are no longer available. So I get to create a lot of things from scratch, which is really fun. And because it's also much bigger. So now let me show you the work in progress. Last week I showed you a picture of how I did the background. So I basically had to take a completely different piece of fabric and paint it. So I painted it kind of a similar color. I was trying to keep the effects of the fabric intact. And then now I'm starting to put the pieces together. So it kind of looks like a mess right now. But that's, that's kind of what we do. So you're not going to be able to see a whole lot here. I've got the moon and I've got some of the fabric that I'm going to use for some of the shadows, and I've got some of this fabric over here. And then this piece here, this great big section here, is going to be covered by a piece of paper that's going to have some watercolor on it. So it's definitely a work in progress. There's lots of things to take care of about that. So let me show you some of the mess that goes on with trying to make all of this work. Hey, Georgiana's in the house. Georgiana's a fabulous artist. She does amazing metalwork amongst other things. And so it's a delight to have you on. Glad to see you, Georgiana. So, for example, when I'm working on the fabrics, I just bring out a whole bunch. And yeah, they're just kind of piled on the chair here. As I'm working on my watercolors, I'm trying to figure out which. I have several different techniques in mind. So these are just meant for me to be, as well as the one that was down here. These are just meant for me to figure out how I'm going to be doing the watercolor pieces. And then today I got in the mail. I'm so excited. Hang on, let's go back the other way. I got this whole new box of Bruchot watercolors. And, my style normally is just to play with things and see what I can do with them and just have fun with them. And here, I'll give you an example of that. So I just wanted to see what would happen with ice cubes. So this is just an experiment in progress. This will have nothing to do with the piece that I'm working on, but just to show you. So what I did was I put a couple of ice cubes on some watercolor paper, and then I sprinkled some of that watercolor powder on top with a little bit of salt just to see what would happen. And okay, this isn't going to turn into much of anything, but it was really fun, and I'm just sort of watching it expand into the paper, so that's kind of fun. So I've got here some Prismacolors. These are like, they call them neo pastels or new pastels or something. These are great. You can rub these on the paper and then put water on top of them, so it's sort of like, they're sort of like crayons, but when you add water to them, the colors come alive, and you can use them on paper as well. These Bruchot crystals, these are watercolor crystals. So I just got a whole brand new assorted pack of 24 colors today from a place called Jerry's Artorama, which kind of gives you a discount on some of these things. So, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. So what I was doing this evening, this is totally not what I typically do, but I'm actually going through every single color and trying it out on this paper, and then writing down the colors, so that when I do go to use them, and then I've got a few more in the box to go through, but when I do go now to create my piece, the way I want to be creating it, I will know exactly which colors to start with as a base, and then of course I am going to be combining them in very specific ways and a couple of different techniques to sort of recreate what I had done several years ago. And then one more time I'm going to flip the camera around, so I hope you don't get seasick or anything, but this was what I do is I work on these trays and then I make room for more trays. So I put this tray back down on the floor, but this was the tray I was using to mix up the colors and create, you know, just all the brushes and everything else that I needed to create the background piece. Well, I didn't want to put that away altogether because I may be adding more color to this piece. I'm starting the assembly process. As I start to put things together, I'm probably going to make some shifts. That's just kind of the nature of creating art. You know, there are a lot of pieces you don't just jump out and throw a bunch of things together and they work. Well, sometimes you do and it works great, but sometimes you need to be more methodical and more serious about what you're doing. So either way, I'm having fun, and just wanted to jump on here and share some of this with you, and I will keep you up to date on how this is all coming together. And thanks for being on with me in my studio and doing my live video. So have a fabulous evening. Go do something fun. Have something fun and go have fun doing what you love doing tomorrow. Have a great evening, and we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.